Hi, my name is James Morgan. My YouTube channel is Meet Morgan. In this brief video, I'm going to discuss the PPP, or the Paycheck Protection Program. I've made a couple other videos on the PPP. However, I thought it was important to make another one, as this last week I've been bombarded by phone calls and people getting a hold of me or coming over to my office asking me about the PPP. In this past week, it was actually people I have, for the most part, known in the past or worked with or employed as a 1099 worker, and they all knew that I participated in both rounds of the PPP, and I had mentioned it previously to many people, and so I guess they had heard that the program was about to end, or they wanted to know more information on it. So it was just strange how many people did get a hold of me over this last week. And so I learned even a little bit more about the PPP. And so hopefully I can share everything that I found out that is pertinent. And also it helped me understand that there are still a lot of people out there that do not know if they qualify, and or if they qualify, how to go about applying for it. So if you're watching this video, evidently you are wondering the same questions because you're searching on YouTube for answers. So feel free to email me as well, meetmorgan2021@gmail.com, and I'll try to either guide you or answer the questions that you have. But I implore you to move forward with trying to get your questions answered, whether it's watching more YouTube channels and or go to sba.gov/PPP if necessary, and they provide a lot of answers. You can apply through that website. You cannot apply through that website. You have to apply through a lender or through I call it an intermediary company that's been set up to take applications of people who can't or don't want to apply through a bank. So PPP is more of a grant program. It is set up as a loan at the beginning, so don't let the verbiage throw you, or when you get the paperwork it's going to say loan on it, but it will eventually be forgiven if you do everything you're supposed to do accordingly when you receive the money, and if you apply for forgiveness. That will be another video that I will do on forgiveness, or you can peruse the YouTube to look for forgiveness videos, and or the lender, whoever takes you on and provides the money to you, they will definitely be emailing you and corresponding with you regarding the forgiveness portion of this. So don't worry about that right now. You need to worry about getting your application in, because this program was designed or scheduled to go on till the end of March. However, a lot of participating banks and lenders are closing their application process down early. I'd say half of them have already stopped taking applications as of last week. This video is I'm doing this video on March 21st, 2021, and the program's scheduled to be over on March 31st. So how do you apply? The primary way or best way is to, if you have a checking account, it can be personal or business. If you have a business checking account, use the business one, and then go to the bank where you have the business checking account. Again, if you don't have a business account, you can go to the bank where you have your personal checking account and look on their main web page. So if it's Wells Fargo, go to Wells Fargo, type in Wells Fargo and .com, and check and see on their main web page if you see anything that says PPP on it, and or anything about COVID-19 or stimulus, and then click on that link. Also, they might tell you on that main page that they are participating, and they'll tell you what date they're stopped taking applications. Like I said, some of them have already stopped taking applications last week, or they'll tell you, well, we're going to stop, on March 25th, which is next week. They'll give you the date. And so be real cognizant of that date, because as long as you get your application in by that time, they'll still correspond with you, work with you, and you're in the system. So you want to get in the system of your bank, and you do that by applying as soon as you can. If for some reason they've stopped taking applications, and or they never took an application, or they didn't participate, which is rare, then I will give you the name of a couple of businesses that are doing business just for this reason, to help those who either didn't have a bank, or their bank wasn't participating, or their bank stopped taking applications. And so I call them an intermediary. The SBA and the government set these companies up so they could assist people. So they do a good job of assisting. They have good customer service. They do almost everything. Seldom can you call and reach them, but you can. It's just very busy, but they like doing everything over the internet. Banks the same way. They like doing everything on the internet if they can, especially the application. So I'll give you the name of these two companies here in just a minute. But on the application process, and on the application, almost everyone, it can be a little bit different, it can be style different, but all of them ask primarily the same questions. And they'll ask to your social security number. If you have an EIN number, go ahead and give it. If you have a business name that you're going to use, go ahead and give that. If you have a DBA, go ahead and give that name as well. However, if you just received this money in your own name, that's fine too. Now, on the application, when they ask for a business name or a trade name that you go by, it can be your own, or it can be whatever business name you go by. Also, if you have an EIN number, go ahead and give that. If you don't, it's okay. Just provide your social security number. Then they'll ask us some routine questions that you just have to answer yes or no to. And then the main part of the application that you need to be aware of and that you need to be ready for is they're going to ask you for your gross income for the year. And so be prepared to have that ready to fill in the blank there. And your gross income, it does not include any of your W-2 wages. For this application purposes, it will just be your gross self-employed and or 1099 income that you receive. So you'll put that in the box that asks for it. And then they're going to also ask for your monthly gross wages, salary, payroll. Don't be messed up on the verbiage, because a lot of people say, well, payroll, I didn't W-2 myself, or would that be the payroll from the W-2 income that you might have received? No, it's just verbiage. When they're saying your monthly payroll, they're meaning what you received from your self-employed or your 1099 work, and how you come to figure out what that monthly is, because you might not have received exactly the amount of money that you're going to put in there every month. But how they want it to work, and the formula they use, is they want you to divide by 12 whatever that gross yearly income that you put down was. So let's use an example. If you put $60,000 down, then for your gross yearly income, they will want you to take that 60 and divide it by 12. So then in that monthly payroll slot, you would put $5,000, because 60,000 divided by 12 is $5,000. And again, this is just an example. And then the next box that you'll need to be aware of, and this is very important because this will determine how much money you will receive from them, is they're going to ask for your, let me get the verbiage correct here. Most all of them ask for your requested draw amount for your PPP loan. And again, don't get messed up on the verbiage of loan. or draw, because this is the formula they use, and this will determine what they'll be offering you or loan you. And how you get to this number, some of the applications will go ahead and populate this number for you. They'll just, whatever you filled in the yearly and in the monthly, they'll go ahead and it will populate itself. But how they get to that number, a lot of it you have to fill in yourself sometimes, but most of the time you have to fill it in yourself. And so how you get to that number, again, this is the most important part of it, is you take your yearly, which in our example was $60,000, then you would divide that by 12, which would be your monthly payroll, which would be $5,000, and then you take that monthly and you times it by 2.5. So 5,000 times 2.5 would be $12,500. And in your case, it will be whatever your monthly is times 2.5, and that's what you're requesting in the what you're requesting for the PPP loan, the amount. Now, one other thing that some people have called me on and asked me about was when they were filling out the application and they put the requested amount in there, it wouldn't let them move forward, and it said it doesn't, it's too much, or it doesn't jive with what they said. And that's because they want you to round down to the nearest $100th or $100th of a dollar. So if your total there was, say ours ended up being $12,550, they would want you to come down to $12,500. You can't round up, you have to round down. Even if you're at $12,599, they still want you to round down to that $12,500. So just be aware of that, and then you fit within the criteria, because otherwise it'll say you're over the amount or it doesn't compute right. So just be aware of that. You have to round down to the nearest hundredth. Okay, and those are the main. You have to get that right. And then hang on though, before you go, there's one other item that you're going to be requested to provide, that you will have to provide. And then also in the application, it's going to ask you the purpose of the loan. Now, just for me, you can put whatever, they will give you options. For the most part, on this loan, it's going to be payroll costs. And so I would just stick with payroll costs, because all this is going to be, if you follow everything you're supposed to do, all this will be forgiven anyway. And so it's just easier, because you won't have to come. If you say rent and utilities, you might have to come up and show them the leases or your rental agreement and or your utility bills. Chances are you won't, but why chance it? Just go ahead and payroll costs. And again, unless that's something you specifically want to do. One more thing regarding the gross income and what you're going to ask for the loan to be. In the case that your gross income exceeded $100,000, and again, that's your gross income just from your 1099 or your self-employed work. If it did, that's okay. Put that in there. Put exactly what it was in there. Be truthful on what it was. But when you go to figure your monthly payroll, do not put over $8,333. I know it sounds weird, but they will not calculate what you're going to receive, or they'll not provide you anything over $20,830. Really $20,800, because they round down to that nearest hundredth, like I said. So then the rest of the application is just it's pretty easy. You will have to upload documents. For the most part, almost everybody is wanting, no matter who you go with, a bank, whichever bank you would end up going with, or one of these companies that are set up, they all want what's called a Schedule C. Now, some of them want some checking account just to verify that you were in business, or if you don't have it, you just don't have it. You just note that you don't have it, or some of them might want a driver's license. Some of them might even want to see your 1099. However, for the most part, these intermediary companies do not want that. They just want the Schedule C. Some of them want to see if you don't identify a bank that you're involved with, they'll get in touch with you because they have to have a bank or somewhere that this money will go to. Even though you might get set up with another bank, maybe that bank you'll have to end up doing a checking account with, but they'll explain all that to you. But you'll have to be involved with a bank at some point so the money can they can put the money in there, and that's who you'll actually do your loan papers with. But you need to be aware of the Schedule C, because that's a document you cannot get away from. You have to file or upload the Schedule C, and for the most part that's going to be the only document you'll have to file. To find a Schedule C or to get one, you go to irs.gov, and that's the IRS website. And don't be scared of it. They're not going to follow you, or you don't have to log in, anything like that. You just go to their website, and then in the right top corner you'll see a little box. It's a white box. It's a search box, and so type in Schedule C, and automatically it'll take you to another page, and automatically the Schedule C for 2020 pops up first anyway. So it's one of the first Schedule C's that pop up. And you don't have to fill it out completely because it will not be the final version, or for most people it won't be the final version. You can actually print it off and put draft copy on it, and they will take that. That's fine, because they're specifically looking for one number in there, and they're looking for that gross income number that you reported previously, or that you put previously down on the application. Now, why I say do it as a draft, because if you haven't figured out your taxes yet, you might not know what your exact expenses are. You might not know some deductions maybe that you can take or that you'll qualify for. So again, I would print the Schedule C out, even though you could drag it over or save it as a PDF from the irs.gov website. You can still do that, but I'd go ahead and print a copy out then, and right at the top of it, draft copy, and then scan it back in as a PDF, and then go ahead and upload it to the in the application process that way. At least that's what I would do, and there's no confusion then that they understand and know that this is a draft copy. Although they say you can do a draft copy, and a lot of people don't write draft copy on there, and they just figure since they don't have it all filled out that the people will know. But yeah, well, why not be safe and just note on there that this is a draft, and you're not, this isn't the exact one that you're going to turn in. Just wait, be diligent, but man, check your emails out every day, because some of them get back in touch with you within 24, 48 hours. Sometimes it might take a week or longer. Some I've been hearing some it takes a couple of weeks. It all depends. But be looking for an email from, if you went through your bank, be looking for an email from your bank. Check every email out that comes from your bank. If you did go through your bank, whether you think it's trash or just advertising, check it out. And because that's how they're going to initially 95% of the time get in touch with you, is via the email. And a lot of times, because they have so many applicants, that if you don't respond, especially in a timely manner, a lot of them say as soon as you get this email, you have 48 hours or 72 hours to respond. They will either cancel or drop your application, or they'll put it at the back of the line. So be aware that you're looking for an email from either the company that you went through to apply, or the bank that you went through to apply. So here's a couple of companies I'll tell you to go to. One of them is womply.com, and that's WOMPLY.com. And the other one is lendio.com, and that's LENDIO.com. Thank you for watching the video. Again, if you liked anything in it, please hit the like button. Also, subscribe to my channel, and I'll go over the PPP again, the forgiveness program, the EIDL, which is another government program that was put in place. It's truly a loan. Again, the PPP is more set up like a grant, and it will be forgiven if you follow all the rules and regulations. Also on my channel, I'm going to opine on being a retail stock investor, if that interests you. And my primary business is I'm a home builder. That's why I mentioned home building so much in the video. And I do remodels too, major remodels. And I buy and sell properties, and I will teach all of that, explain all of that, and also how to go about getting funding for your projects. Now turn off this video and go find an application with your bank or with one of those companies that I said. And good luck. Again, email me if you have any questions. My name is James Morgan. My YouTube channel is Meet Morgan. Thanks, and we'll see you next time. Bye.